Welcome to you all. Come to my fourth lectures on the wave. And before that, you just go through my personal website senthil.sirc.co.in and go through my sister concern sirc.co.in, Success Inventive Research Center. And I have supposed to take a fourth lecture on wave, and this topic is just by questions about the heat. Since we know that heat is an energy, and we have a general formula that I was crystallized in my freezed in my mind is energy can be propagated through wave only. So that is the first thing I just freezed in my mind. So with this constraint, I just think about it, the energy can be propagated through the wave. So since heat is an energy, it should have to propagate through the wave only. And with this case, I couldn't find an answer in my mind still now, and just been querying in my mind. Since it is very essential for us to go through this different aspects, like if we crystallize that heat, how it is propagated, and we can utilize this heat in the much efficient and much enhanced way of utilization that will makes to utilize in the much more aspects, much efficient way of utilizing this energy. So with this case, we realize that whether it is like heat is a wave. So with this constraint, we know that the wave energy can be propagated through the wave only. So with this case, we may suppose to say that infrared is also a wave. Heat energy can be identified as an infrared energy. If it is an infrared energy, so infrared is nothing but close to be a light speed, light wave, close to be a light wave, but it just before the light wave. And if it is in the case, how about other properties like conduction and convection? In this case of the property of this heat can be propagated by means of two actions, one is conduction, another one is convection. In this case of convection, we suppose using the anti-gravitational propagation, because it is usually possible in this case of fluid systems. Convection may be possible in this case of fluid system. When we are heating it, because of this, it is heated, it lost its mass, so its volume is increased. Because of the volume is increased, because of the volume it loses its mass, so that its density is reduced, so it will go ups. So it will go ups, and when it goes to temperatures, again it comes back to this ground. This is by means of the convection as concerned. But in this case of conduction, it can be in possible 360 directions. It can be possible in all directions, but in the convection is always in this direction of this anti-gravitational direction. The convection is always in the anti-gravitational direction. It is always towards upside. Propagation is always towards upside. But whereas in this case of conduction, it can be in the smoke of 360 degree, and 360 into 360 it can be propagatable. So 360 into 360 it can be propagatable. But if it is the case, and the conduction is slow in this case of the gravitational direction, how does it is possible? So if it is the infrared is an heat energy. If it is, it should have to propagate in that all directions. It should have to propagate in all the directions. It should have to propagate in all the directions with. It should have to propagate in all the directions with the same velocity. But I don't expect that the heat energy has been propagated in the same velocity in all the directions. But with this case, I am just querying in my mind. So heat energy, heat is a wave, and it should have to be propagated. If it is if infrared is if heat is a wave, we can be classified as it should have to it should have to satisfy all the properties like interference, diffractions, polarizations, and frequency and polarization, and all kind of properties has to be tolerated. And construction, destructive interference, constructive interference. So we might have supposed to be gone through this. So if we classify, crystallize the heat, and so that we can make it as we can handle the heat as much faster. We have to handle the heat, because as we realize, heat must have to be a wave, and if a wave has to be in a wave, should have to identify the frequency, wavelength, and what kind of frequency it takes, what kind of wavelength it takes, how it will take. This we have to crystallize. Then we can go for a interference, constructive interference and destructive interference. When we go to the, when we need it, we can destroy it by means of destructive interference. When we need it, we can make it as constructive, we can enhance it. So with this, it will be very useful enough for our technology aspects if we crystallize heat as a wave. So as we realized, heat must have to be a wave, since it is an energy. So when we crystallize it, we may supposed to moderate the heat energy by means of diffraction, polarization, interference, and reflection, refraction. So with this case, we should have to be just crystallize what kind of wave it is and what's the frequency, what kind of aspects that we have to crystallize it. We have to do it. I'll do with yours. Just think over it and just enhance this ideas to make the world as best. Thank you. Bye.